What is up, Bears fans? Welcome to the Chicago Bears Huddle. I'm Owen James, and this is your UK take on all things Chicago Bears. Look, we are fast approaching Monday Night Football. The revenge mission is on. We head to our nation's capital to take on the Washington Commanders to try and get back what happened last year. It feels like we're in Washington a lot. It feels like a lot of the games that we play against the Commanders are in Washington. Make it make sense, guys. Make it make sense. One player who is determined to turn around fortunes and to get back on track in terms of putting a nightmare behind him is cornerback Tyrique Stevenson. Now, look, I'm going to say one thing. Tyrique, I'm sorry, man. I am sorry, buddy. I was one person who absolutely roasted and absolutely called out, fried Tyrique at the start of this season for his form in the opening couple of games where he was cooked like a fool. He's pulled it back. Dallas Cowboys, he gets that game-setting strip fumble of the Cowboys running back, and it was Pollard or whoever it was, Williams, whoever, I don't care, he got it. He played a hell of a lot better as well against the Raiders and has started to look like a good player again. But look, we all, and even Tyrique, cannot get out of their minds that hideous egg play, the Fail Mary as it's come to be known, the play that lost us that game. The play that kind of pulled Chicago Bears season apart, along with the crap head coach, Matt Eberflus, of course, post that game. But that incident really did act as a defining one. Now, in terms of Tyrique, I think, Tyrique has really turned his form round, and Jalen Johnson missing is a big reason why he's needed to turn that form round. Now, obviously, let's get things into perspective. Having Kyler Gordon back this week is going to be absolutely massive in terms of having two quality cornerbacks. No disrespect to Nashawn Wright, Nick McLeod, etc., but they are not in the same class as Jalen Johnson or Kyler Gordon. Kyler Gordon, I think, can come back, can become Dennis Allen's Swiss Army knife. If you go back to the start of the year, when these guys were appointed, the Dennis Allens, the Ben Johnsons, for example, there was very much a big talk around what Kyler Gordon could bring to this team. Used as a supplementary linebacker, used in a run blitz, in the rush, in a pass blitz, used to play outside corner, in the slot, in the nickel, in a number of different players. And I think he will get some snaps at outside corner, especially with the absence around Jalen Johnson. But, in terms of this game, Tyrique Stevenson and Kyler Gordon are going to be a big part of stopping the Washington Commanders. Not only through the air, where they are going to be a threat with Jaden Daniels back, with Deebo Samuel, etc., but also on the ground, where they are the league's top running team. As Coach Johnson said at his presser the other day, the Washington Commanders are an all-round team that can hurt you in a number of different ways. But Tyrique Stevenson has been talking about that incident, and this is what he had to say. It was harsh. It hurt my feelings. That's the best way I can explain it. It just hurt my feelings. Being a football player and having one of those mistakes that's going to linger around. Even when my son grows up, I've got to explain that to him. It definitely hurt, but I just use it as fuel. And like I said, Tyrique got a lot of blame for that. And there was a lot of anti-Tyrique feeling because of that mistake. And look, we all know that Tyrique at times can make boneheaded plays. That's Tyrique Stevenson. That's the player you get. But he's starting to look a little bit more like that cornerback we all thought we were getting when we drafted him. And, he's right. We do. I think if you are strong of character, you are a player who has that talent, you can use those mistakes to fuel you, to develop you, to push you on, to get you better. And I think that's the message that he's trying to put across here. But what that last line in that first paragraph, that makes me sad, man. Even when my son grows up, I've got to explain it to him. You're always going to have that on your record, and it's always going to be there. That's horrible, man. That is horrible. He went on to say about his team, for example. They gave me support. Being honest, I got a couple of side eyes, but that comes with, like I was saying on the Kevin Byard podcast, this is what we do for a living. This is who we are in some cases. And the best thing we can do is go out there and make great plays. So, on the whole, he gets support from his team. Yeah, the couple of side eyes that he gets, you get that at times from anybody. There are always poisonous people within every organization, whether that's where you work or whether that's a professional football team like the Chicago Bears. But he's right. What you do is you put it behind you, you grow from it, you learn from it, and you go out there and you make those great plays. You develop as a person, or you die as a person, and you fail. And it's clear that Tyrique is trying to use this hideous play as fuel, as an inspiration to try and turn things around. Now, there'll be nobody more determined on Monday night than him to get his own back and to pull it back against what is going to be a very, very tough test against the Washington Commanders. This team that we're going up against are a good football team, a physical football team, a good running team, a good passing team, a very good defensive team. So it's going to be a test. But this man here, Tyrique Stevenson, I think, like I said, he's been kind of encapsulated the turnaround in Bears form in the way that it's been going. Oh, wrong. Sorry about that. In terms of where he's at this season, he's had 14 solo tackles. Okay, not overly impressive. 1 forced fumble, tied 13th. 1 interception, tied 19th. 5 passes defensed, tied 9th. So that's an area where he started to develop. And like I said, it's because he has started to pick up and improve and move on. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here today and tell you that we're going to win the Super Bowl or we're going to the playoffs for definite because we beat the Cowboys and we beat the Raiders. A lot of people will beat the Cowboys and the Raiders this season. They ain't good football teams, guys. Sorry about that. They're not good football teams. But Stevenson has turned it around. He has stepped it up. And I think, personally speaking, the fuel of the Fail Mary will be something that he uses Monday night to push him, to inspire him, to get him to that next level. And having Kyler Gordon back, having TJ Edwards back, having Austin Booker back, hopefully as well, will all help push this team on and develop this defense. Now, the defense is going to have to be right on it on Monday night. Yes, the offense is going to have to step it up and score points when it gets the chance to. And we'll talk about that on another video. But the defense is going to have to be huge. It's going to have to come up big. It's going to have to push Jaden Daniels. It's going to have to get in his face. It's going to have to be on the running attack, stopping the run. It's going to have to stop the pass. And Tyrique is going to be a big part of that on Monday Night Football. Guys, let me know your thoughts about Tyrique, about the Fail Mary, and your thoughts for Monday night against the Washington Commanders. This has been your Chicago Bears Huddle. I've been Owen James, guys. If you've enjoyed the content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are the UK Bears. Bear down.